Hello everybody! I have a new piece for you. I know this has been reviewed before. I'm late to the party. I always am. The reason for that is that I take a long time to decide if I'm going to purchase a wig for my own use, and I have to do a lot of research about that too. And this one I was really unsure about in a lot of ways. This is Onda by Wille, of course. One reason I was unsure was because it simply does not come in any colors I can possibly wear except for this one. This was the only one I could dream of making work. And I still wasn't really sure about that one. So because these are for my own use, and this is not my career, this is not my job, this is not my career, it took me a while to find one in for a good price, and to decide if I wanted to try it or not. So this of course is Bahama Beige shaded, the only color I could possibly make work, and I wasn't sure about this. So let me just turn around and let you see this first, and you can take a look at this. She has a beautiful curl pattern, a lot of variation in Wille, and there's one thing I haven't heard anyone mention about the variation in some of the Modix collection pieces, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So isn't it beautiful? Of course, the obvious comparison is to Girl Mono. I've owned several Girl Mono pieces. I can tell you that I do believe this has lighter density. This is not as heavy as any of my Girl Mono pieces. Some of those actually in particular have quite a heavy bang area. This does not. This is very lightweight. It's only 2.9 ounces. Now the stats on this particular piece are a little bit off, I feel. They say that the side pieces are 6.5. Well, obviously I'm 8 inches from here to here, and some of these pieces are, you know, rather short. There's no way that's 6.5. And it says the nape is 9. Well, the nape is about half of that. So, you know, you take all these measurements with a grain of salt, and of course, if you are shorter or taller, it's going to look longer or shorter on you. You know how that goes. And the curl patterns. Wavy pieces, curly pieces, their curl pattern varies from piece to piece. I've seen this with more barrel-like curls. I've seen it with very noodly curls. I think this one has one of the best ones I've seen. I like this curl pattern. Okay. Now, let's talk about the root. Well, first let's talk about the color in general. Bahama Beige shaded. According to Wille, that consists of a 16, a 14, and a 22. I saw someone on another site say it was a 26, a 22, and a 16. However, Wille does not say that. And the tag that came with it says a 16, which is a honey blonde, 14, which depending on who you read, it says it can be a medium ash blonde or a brownish blonde, but it is basically an ashy color. It's either a light ash brown or a dark ash blonde. It's an ashy color, sort of a fence sitter. 22, depending on who's writing the description, can be champagne blonde, a wheat blonde. In any case, they're all blonde shades. They're all blonde tones. And they don't list the root. The color description just says dark roots. Dark what? Dark brown? Dark blonde? I mean, you know, so you're kind of left to guess about the root. I would say this root is probably, now it's going to look darker under this overhang than it actually probably is. It's very well interspersed throughout the style. And it's actually quite ashy. I would say this root is neutral to ashy on this particular piece. You may get one and it may be a little different. But on this particular piece that I have, to my delight, this root is an ashy color. I would say it's probably a number 8, but there can be an 8 warm, an 8 ashy, an 8 neutral. It's just in that darkness level of around an 8. It doesn't look overly dark under this very pretty blonde. Now, is Bahama Beige shaded an ash blonde or is it a warm blonde? I had the hardest time trying to figure that out from reviews because of the lighting that is used in studios and things like that. It varies, and the monitors, you know, you're looking through your monitor and your monitor color may be different. I had a hard time, and studio lighting adds a lot of glare most times, and I was thinking it was maybe quite gold. I thought it looked to me in some reviews like caramel rooted. I've had caramel rooted on United and on Girl Mono. Caramel rooted tends to be, now I don't know, I can't remember what the color codes are on caramel rooted, but in general, I think caramel rooted comes across more gold than this. And the root is more subtle on caramel rooted than this is. However, it is not as gold as caramel rooted. At least the last caramel rooted that I had. Actually, I've had caramel rooted on 3 styles. I've had it on United and something else. I can't remember. I have 2 or 3 styles I've had caramel rooted on, and it always came off as a little gold. And the last Girl Mono I had in caramel rooted came off as very gold. And this is not gold. This is a nice blend of some golds and some ash. But I would say if you look at this color sitting on my closet shelf next to the Trestle or Frosty Blonde HL and next to Butterbeer Blonde, this is not overly gold. It reminds me a little bit of the Sparkling Champagne in Envy, which is very similar to 12FS8 and John Renault, which is a blend of ash and gold with a dark root. But anyway, I was also concerned about the root color, as many of you are who probably don't care for rooted styles. Now, I thought that this had a very stark root in the front, very dark root. And as you can see, some of the lighter colors are brought up to the lace front. Now, I didn't say that, but this is a left mono part in lace front. It goes temple to temple. The seams on this one are done pretty nicely. I don't see any obvious seam right here. It's very well disguised. So the part does not go all the way to the crown. The part is sort of a stunted part. It stops well before the crown. Girl Mono, I do believe, goes further back. But like I said, overall, this seems to be a lighter piece than Girl Mono. I didn't check the Girl Mono weights, but as you can see, that may be irrelevant because it says this has a 9-inch nape, and you know it doesn't. Absolutely, there's no way that's possible. It's probably half of that measurement. In a way, I'm glad that the root on this is not as stark as I thought it was going to be. Now, is it going to work for me? I'm not really sure yet. I do think it's super pretty. I do think this is rather ashy. Generally, if I had to say, does it veer to the ash or veer to the gold? I would say in this piece here, it veers a little bit to the ash, neutral into the ash. So it's a really nice balance for me, personally, for my skin tone. So what else do I need to talk about? The lace front. I have heard different opinions about the lace on this. As you know, I also own another Modix collection piece, the Nerano, which is just a straight bob with textured ends, that is still available for sale. Because the color is just really not, it's just not working for me. The color of it, the sand mix, might work for brunettes who want to go a little bit more blonde, or blondes who want to go a little darker. That's the only reason. There's nothing wrong with the piece. Now, the lace front on this particular one, compared to the lace front on Murano, the lace is different. Shocker, right? It's different. You would think that everything in the Modex collection, Modex, I don't know how they pronounce it, everything in that collection you would think had the same lace material. I pulled out my Murano, and of course I would have showed you, but you can't see how it feels on the camera by looking at it. This one is very pliable on this particular piece. The lace front is very pliable. In fact, it's actually it's softer than the lace on the Murano. It's like it's a different lace. The lace on this one reminds me a lot of the French lace that the Centresse line used. The Centresse, the mid-length beach waves that is now a tressor style that originally started out as a gem tress, Centresse style. That had a very narrow lace front, those hand-tied caps, and that lace on there was very, very delicate. It was very soft and very delicate. Mine tended to fray a little bit. Now, I'm not saying this will do that. I don't mean that. But when a lace is soft, it is more prone to stretching, and it's also more prone to tearing and fraying, I think. That's just my experience with it. I'm not saying this will, because I don't know that this is French lace like those pieces are. But it does remind me a little bit of that. It's not super soft. I mean, at first I thought, well, this is really soft. Well, when I went back and reassessed this lace compared to the Murano, this lace is softer than the one on the Murano. It is more pliable. The one on the Murano is a little bit stiffer lace, and I think it may hold up better than the lace on this one. Just a guess. It's just a guess. It's just an educated guess based on having similar lace materials in the past. Why they would be slightly different, I really don't understand. But they definitely are. There is not a lot of excess lace on the front. Past the hairline, you don't get a lot of excess lace. It basically stops at the hairline, pretty much. This is a new piece. This is not a used piece. It's a new piece with tags. We've got some flyaways here. So I don't really... Just letting you know about what I see on the lace. Now, as far as permatease, there's a little bit of permatease at the nape to hold the, and that's the case with most of these wavy styles. It holds it off of the nape, so it doesn't tuck into the nape. I don't know that there's much at all around the ear tabs. Ear tabs are really soft. They're super soft, very velvety. Now the fit. I am petite average, a 22-inch circumference, 12 inches from ear to ear and hairline to nape. So those measurements are rather small compared to my circumference measurement. How does this fit? I put it on and it fit okay. And as an experiment, I actually took the Velcro adjusters and I cinched it in a little bit. This does have an extended nape, by the way. Extended velvet nape or felt nape, whichever it is. But they're very soft. The ear tabs and the nape are very, very soft. And I cinched it in a little bit, and now it fits very nicely. I won't have to glue it down. However, when you have a lace that does not have a lot of excess here to glue it down, you know, it may just come up. Do you see how much? There's not a whole lot of lace beyond the hairline here. But I was very pleased to see that the light colors were taken and interspersed among the dark at the front, so there's not that dark banding effect. That was excellent. Anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to tell you about Onda. It retails for $280, so really it's not a bad price compared to some others. It is not heat friendly. This is a regular synthetic. I think people talk about how much shine there is in the Ellen Villa blonde shades. There tends to be more when it's a straight style. When you have this and it breaks up the way the light bounces off of it, you don't see as much of that as you do when you have that straight style. So I don't find a problem with that. You could definitely use some dry shampoo on it if you wanted to. I've never had too much problem with the Ellen Villa blondes. As long as I got the dry shampoo, I'm fine with it. But yeah, this is just fine. Let me turn around again and let me show you this again. And yeah, this Bahama Beige shade is actually quite pretty if you like rooting. This is not as dark as it looks in this camera. When I look at it in person, it does not look this dark. I know it's always darker looking underneath this overhang. I have no lights on me. I have a sunny day outside. There's an 8-foot overhang. I have an 8-foot porch, and then the roof overhang goes a little further than that, so I have no direct sunlight on it, but it's a nice sunny midday. So let me turn around and show you again. It's kind of pretty, huh? Of course, you know, this can go down and go down if you want it to, or you can pull it back. Of course, you have to tame those little flyaways there. But yeah, this is a really nice curl pattern on this one. I've seen some that looked a little different, and you know, that's the way it is with Girl Mono too. But yeah, lighter weight than Girl Mono. I think this would not fit average large. I think it would fit if you're dead on average, you're probably okay. If you are average large, I would say probably not. I wouldn't. It might, I mean, you might get it on, but it may feel a little bit snug on you. That's all I'm saying. So I hope this is helpful. Just another perspective on Ellen Villa's Onda and Bahama Beige shaded. Take care, everybody.